Overkicking it. Super kicking it with Kelsi.
Number 10, Sami Zayn. Now you may be asking yourself, why are you picking Sami Zayn? You know, he didn't have a crazy great year. Well, you know, he didn't win any titles, but he did have some really great matches. I would say even 2 or 3 match of the year candidates. If you go all the way back to TakeOver Dallas, where Nakamura debuted, Sami really was a big part of making that match so special. I think he was the perfect opponent for Nakamura to face in his debut. He's such a natural baby face. It's a very hard thing to pull off in this day and age. You know, they can be really corny, but Sami Zayn, there's just something so honest and real about him. So I think it's been a great year for Sami in terms of match quality. I hope he'll get a nice push in 2017. Now, number 9 was a hard pick for me because I could have put Naito there because he had a great year, but instead I went with Sasha Banks and Charlotte tied at number 9. The Sasha-Charlotte feud really, I think, elevated the WWE product because now they have a serious women's division, and I think that's important for wrestling. I don't think women should just be a side piece. I think they should be part of the action. Now, I'll say that Charlotte is an outstanding athlete. She's had a great year, but Sasha is an amazing babyface. She's just so personable, and she just seems so real and passionate that you just want to root for her. So I think that's why they're both in contention for having been one of the top wrestlers of the year. Next up, I think Kevin Owens had a great year as well. Now, of course, he became champion. If you had asked me at the beginning of 2016 if I thought Kevin Owens was going to be champion by the end of the year, I would have said, oh, probably not. I mean, they'll probably give him some lower card titles, but I mean, I wanted it to happen. He's one of my favorites. I just thought it would be Roman again or Seth again, possibly. I love his whole comedy bit with Jericho. It's really just gold. It's wrestling comedy done right, because so many times it can be done poorly, but their back and forth is just so real and so funny and so ridiculous and over the top that it works. No matter what he does, he always puts a little something extra in the match for you to remember later on. And I know people are going to roll their eyes at this, but another one of my picks for top wrestlers of 2016 would be the Young Bucks. You can't deny that they've had a great year, especially when you look at being financially successful. They are kind of the definition of success outside of the WWE. I just admire them so much. They just re-signed with ROH. I'm so excited they're not going to WWE. I don't think they need to. They can make money with merchandise sales, which they do. They're always on top of their game. They entertain the crowd. Whether or not you like their gimmick, you have to admit that they are making strides in the wrestling business. They're changing the business. They make it so that you don't have to be a WWE wrestler to be successful, to support your family. They use social media to their benefit. They are just the definition of success in every way, in my opinion. And you can hate their gimmick all you want, but you know what? I love their gimmick. They're entertaining, they're fun. They are what wrestling is about. Wrestling is about being entertained. And throughout 2016, they entertained me, and they made money while doing it. Another top wrestler of the year is Chris Jericho. He had an amazing year. He's so funny. He's on fire this year. I think this is one of his best runs ever. It really speaks to Jericho how he can redefine himself over and over again and still be relevant. It's so hard to do that. A lot of people are just stuck in the same gimmick forever, and they really are unable to redefine themselves. Sometimes you don't have to redefine yourself if you have a gimmick that works. But I admire Jericho for changing it up over and over again and being versatile, because that is such a talent to be able to do. I'm going to talk about Will Ospreay. He's had a great year. You know, debuted with New Japan Pro Wrestling, signed with ROH, had crazy good matches. That match with Ricochet basically, you know, got tons of attention online. One of the first matches I saw for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I thought it was so well done. People said, you know, that's not wrestling. And they continue to argue what Ospreay does isn't wrestling. But to me, wrestling can be anything you want it to be. Ricochet is quoted as saying wrestling is an art. And I agree with that statement. I just think that wrestling is so versatile. If you want to do mat-based wrestling, then that's your way of expressing it. If you want to do high flying spots like Ospreay and Ricochet do, that's your way of expressing your wrestling style. There is no black and white. Respect what these men and women do, putting their bodies on the line for us to entertain us. I think he's just going to rise higher and higher, and he's someone to keep an eye on for the future. Now we're getting near the top of the list, and I would say that a wrestler who's had an awesome year is Cody Rhodes. He really had the guts to leave WWE. He didn't like what they were doing with him. Well, if you don't like something, change it. That's what he did. He left, and I can only imagine how hard that was. And now he's having matches with all kinds of people. My personal favorite match he's had was with Jay Lethal at Final Battle because, he turned heel. That video package that New Japan put together of his for Wrestle Kingdom 11, oh man, that was the coolest video package. I watched that thing like 10 times. I loved that video package. So well done. That's how you hype somebody's debut. And Cody has really played his cards right every step of the way since he's left WWE. I think Cody being a member of the Bullet Club not only kind of elevates Cody, but also will elevate Bullet Club because, it was getting a little stale for a while. And, Adam Cole's great, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, but some of the other members aren't very high profile. I think that Cody will give it a little bit of a luster again. I think he's creating a buzz around Bullet Club, and so that's going to be a mutually beneficial partnership. My number 3 is Kenny Omega. Now, he's had a great year. He won the G1 Climax. Incredible match with Naito. Incredible match with Goto. And I love the match he had right after Wrestle Kingdom where he turned on AJ. Very cool, cutting awesome promos all year long. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with him. You could say he's corny, you could say his gimmick is over the top, you could say you don't like him, but you can't say he's not a talented in-ring worker. You can't say that he's not awesome on the mic. You might not like how his character is. That doesn't mean that he's not talented. He's doing what nobody else has done in Japan, and I hope in 2017 we'll see him with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And we already know he kicked off 2017 with a big bang, having what Dave Meltzer called a 6-star match with Okada. Beautiful, nerve-wracking, emotion-filled match. My number 2 pick for top wrestler of 2016 could be a little controversial because a lot of people think he is the wrestler of 2016. He's the most phenomenal wrestler of 2016, many people believe, and that is AJ Styles. And yes, he's my number 2 pick. Competed in Wrestle Kingdom 10, had a great match against Nakamura. Awesome match, loved it. Then, turn around and he's in the Royal Rumble. He's really elevating the WWE product. I think he's one of the best parts of WWE right now. His heel work's on point, some of the best mic work he's ever done. I love that he's champ right now. Now we're going to my pick for number 1 wrestler of 2016. And to me, there is no contest. It's broken Matt Hardy. There's no way that anyone impressed me more in 2016 than Matt Hardy. Everyone, when you think about the Hardy Boys, a lot of times people think of Jeff. He's the charismatic one. He's the one who's doing the over-the-top dangerous moves. But Matt Hardy, that he's got such a great mind for the business. He's such a genius. There's so many cool things about Matt Hardy. You could tell he knows the business inside and out. He's so passionate about it. And that really makes me passionate about him being passionate. Passion's really contagious, but the biggest thing he's done this year, I think, is doing something so unique and so out there. I would call the final deletion my favorite part of 2016. I can remember where I was when I watched that. I watched it 20 times. I laughed so hard. Even if you think it's ridiculous, you can't deny that Matt Hardy is so smart for coming up with a backstory. He's keeping in kayfabe. It's just, what he's done with the depth of his character is incredible to me. Going on podcasts and having a whole backstory about the 7 deities, about how he became broken, about this whole story that's unfolding right now. It's just so well done. And it's one of my favorite things I've seen in all of wrestling since I've been a fan. And not only that, he's really one of the main reasons why TNA is still in business right now. I think he is the reason why, personally. So to me, Styles has had a great year and he could have been number 1 for me, but Matt literally put a whole promotion on his shoulders. And because of that reason, he is number one. And you could argue it's TNA. TNA and WWE is like comparing apples and oranges. Or as my friend would say, you know, bigger apples with smaller apples. You know, you could say that. Whether you think that's worth something or not, I don't really care. I just think he's got a great mind for the business. It's really hard to redefine yourself. Chris Jericho did it. Matt Hardy did it. And I can't wait to see what Broken Matt has in store for this next delightful, dilapidated year. Thank you for listening to my picks for top wrestlers of 2016. I can't wait to see what 2017 has in store for all of us as fans. I'm really excited. I can't wait to delve deeper and deeper into this, and I hope you'll join me along the way. Thanks.
A delightful, dilapidated production. Super Kicking It with Kelsi.